Hi, welcome everyone. I'm Michele Campanis with the University of Tennessee Arboretum Society. I'm here with Stephen Lynn Bales, and today we're going to teach you about building a nest box for bluebirds. We've got our materials laid out here. We've got our safety glasses on, which we want to make sure you have those at home. And, you know, Lynn, why is February a good time to build a bluebird box?
Well, it's really a good time to build because the male and female bluebirds are starting to get together, look at each other, and try to find a place they can maybe have a family. And naturally, they would use a hollow tree, maybe an old woodpecker hole. But with the building of bluebird boxes is something that was started in the 1920s, and this is the design that's been worked out over the years. So February, late February, early March is when you kind of need to get your bluebird boxes up.
So yes, and you can buy lots of bluebird boxes. You can find lots of different plans. The plan we're using, you may find it on the Tennessee Bluebird Society website. They have this next box plan that has some little features that we'll tell you about as you go along to make sure that you're providing the safest possible home for your bluebirds.
Right. Now today we're using pine. It's recommended you use red cedar. Well, this is just a demo, and this is something probably will never be outside. And to start with, you need a board. It's a 1x6, roughly 5 feet long. It's a little, I didn't need to use all of that. So that's most of the parts you're going to need for the body of the box. And then you're going to need a piece of a 1x8 for the roof. And with that, very simple very simple pieces, ingredients, we'll show you how you put it all together.
And I know you'll go over this, but I noticed on the front you've got the hole. Is the size of the hole important?
The size of the hole is incredibly important. In fact, we're going to reinforce it. It's 1.5 inches in diameter. That means a starling cannot squeeze into it. A bluebird can squeeze into it, but the other secondary cavity nesters like titmouse, chickadees, Carolina wrens, tree swallows, they can use this too. So it is designed for bluebirds, but if you put it up and you see chickadees using it,
yay,
more power to them. So, but that 1.5 inch diameter for the opening is going to keep starlings out. They can't squeeze those chunky little bodies in there. You might get a house sparrow, and that's also a taboo bird because they can get in it. If you get a house sparrow, or formerly English sparrow, it's okay to rip the nest out.
Because those are, and we mentioned that because they are an invasive bird, and any other native bird, whether it's the bird you want or not, is protected, and you should let it enjoy your box. So let's get started.
Instead of just talking like this, okay. I'm going to do some guide holes, and then Michele is going to put in the screws. You can use nails, but screws will hold it much tighter.
Yeah, we've got wood screws.
Okay. Let me hold it for you.
And I've got it going the right direction this time. We had a few bloopers on our first attempt.
Beautiful. Right now it's a little bit rickety, but once the more we can put it together, it gets much more stable. Right now, all the bluebirds around us watching going,
You better do better on that one. This is a great family project. Again, just make sure everybody's got their safety glasses on.
Yes, I have done this for many years with grandparents and their grandkids, with parents and their kids. They love doing it.
I obviously need to practice with this new drill.
Perfect. Look at that.
He said perfect. Woohoo!
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, that's pretty close. As long as neither one of us lose a finger, it's perfect.
Does the size of the screw matter, or your nail?
Well, these are 1.5 inches long, and that'll be deep enough to make a good joint.
Okay.
Perfect.
Excellent.
We thank you for tuning in.
And after we're done, we will be having, if you're joining on our Zoom program, our first Thursday Nature Supper Club, we'll be having a question and answer and teaching you a little bit more about bluebirds. And we'll also have the PDF available that everyone that registers for the program, I'll send you this PDF of the nest box plans.
Perfect. Now notice we only put one screw here on this side. This will be our door. And how it's you open it and clean it. Bluebirds can lay 3 clutches a year. So you clean it out after the young ones fly away. They won't come back. Here is the front, and notice I did some of this ahead of time because I'm a long way from the workshop. I've drilled the holes ahead of time. You need a hole cutting saw. I like to call it a cooker cutting saw that fits in your drill. It makes it perfectly.
Whoa!
1.5 inches. I've also stapled a bit of hardware cloth on the inside. This is for when the young ones start to want to climb up out of the nest and peek out for mom and dad. It's just kind of a basic little ladder. I did that ahead of time too.
And the reason that, because I know they don't have those in nature, through monitoring and collecting data, we found not always bluebirds, but some of the other species of babies, if it was too cold or hot, they struggle to get up to the hole. So that just gives them a little bit more way to be successful.
You can also cut grooves into the wood, but I'd like to do this. I wanted to try something different, and I have plenty of hardware cloth laying around. Okay. Okay.
Take a minute to make sure you've got it lined up. We're not in a rush. Thank goodness.
I'll put the bottom in next. That'll help hold everything together.
Hey, let me ask, why do we have these little slits the angles on our bottom?
It's simply for drainage, because there will be some rain that can pour in through the nest hole, and so that really just acts as a way of draining water out, so the poor young bluebirds aren't sitting in 1 inch deep of water.
Right, so everything has a purpose that allows drainage. We want drainage, ventilation, and a safe home for our bluebirds.
Yes, and the bottom is roughly 6 inches from the bottom of the hole. The bottom, and that way a raccoon can't reach in and grab a baby bluebird, which we just don't want. Just go ahead and put this in. That'll make everything work so much easier, and it'll really help to solidify it. Okay?
Okay, yep, that's stabilizing it. And I need some more screws, please. Is that good? Lined up well?
Yep. Looks good. Wow, that's not coming out.
Thank you. I don't want to, I'm afraid I'm going to get your finger.
Now, remember how rickety it was just a little bit ago?
So we put those screws on the side. They're holding our bottom in. Or floor, I should say.
Floor. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, 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 no. I almost made a boo-boo. The door would not have opened.
Woo!
I think we just need one. Bluebirds aren't that heavy. Okay. Okay, beautiful. Now we're going to do the front. He keeps forgetting. There we go. Okay.
And you notice one thing Stephen Lynn has done is he's labeled the pieces so that it doesn't get confusing as you put it together.
But somehow it's still confusing to me.
So this is our door side, correct?
Yeah, that's what I keep getting confused on.
Yeah, because you want to have your door so that this nest box plan has the door on the side. Some of them have the front. I think we found the side. It's a little bit less disruptive to the Bluebirds. It enables you to kind of open, check, make sure nobody's in there that you're going to disturb. And then gives you a great way to, if you're monitoring or if you just need to clean it out. Oops. There we go. You obviously don't have to be an expert with tools to make this Bluebird box.
Obviously.
Coming together, birds.
Join us next summer when we do a program about building a barn. Do this next. What we're adding now is just a little extra thickness to the nest hole, and there is a copper ring which you can buy like at Wild Birds Unlimited. This will prevent squirrels or woodpeckers from making the hole wider, so you're going to the integrity of the hole is going to stay put, we think. And
another reason this this width also helps prevent those little rascally raccoons. It helps, gives another protection of having their arms be able to get in there and snatch a baby or snatch some eggs.
Nature's not always pretty. Everybody has to eat.
Yep, and that's great. It's not coming through on the other side. One thing I've learned from doing some others when we're building for our monitoring trail, if you do find that your screws are a little too long and going to come through, you can just add a washer on the outside, and that'll help them not
keep it from puncturing through. Okay. You need that. I'll do this. Truthfully, I was guessing 1.5. I had several sizes, but I thought 1.5 inches were going to be just perfect. Okay.
Thank you. See, you read my mind. I didn't even have to ask.
We've been working together for so very long.
Since the 1700s. There we go. One more. Yep, pretty easy peasy. So this side's our door.
And this is the door handle. That'll make it easier to open it up. Ooh, okay. I will hold that in place. Well, that's fine.
That's good.
Yeah, just you only use this obviously when you open it up to monitor it or when you open it up to clean it out. And trust me, we did not practice.
They would have never figured that out.
Yeah, the big professionals practice and practice.
Partly, we just want to show you how easy it really is to do.
Anybody can do this. Whoa, beautiful. See, that will help you do that. It fits tight, nice and snug, but that helps you open it. And we're going to put in, let's see, a little locking mechanism so a raccoon cannot do the same thing.
Because they sure are smart. I have a huge raccoon at my house. We coexist nicely, though.
Good. Trying to decide if this is going to be a good bid. Okay, we'll see. We have to change it in a minute. And I'm just using a little carder pin. You can use different mechanisms.
Yep, you can use a nail. And that, see, that works great.
And that's easy for you to pull out and open up. We're about done.
Wow.
Why don't we get the roof on?
Don't worry, Bluebirds, we haven't forgotten the roof.
And notice the sides are short. That's ventilation.
So you've got air, because I've noticed some people just put a whole front. This gives some nice cross ventilation, especially here in our Tennessee summers. It can get toasty in a nest box.
It can get toasty.
So if you're looking to buy one instead of make one, be making sure you're looking for these qualities so you provide what your birds need.
I don't know. Michelle?
Voila.
I can hold till you get started. I don't really use that hand that often. Oh, there you go. Beautiful. Perfect.
Stephen Lynn, what if you wanted to snazz up your Bluebird box a little bit? Can you paint this? Is that recommended?
Well, it's really not recommended because when you think about it, you're creating an imitation hollow tree. And it will eventually weather to be gray, just like a barn, and it'll look like part of a tree. Now, you don't put it on a tree at all because a raccoon can climb trees. You really want to put it on a post with a baffle under it, and you want it to be about eye height. So you can come in easily and open it up and look. It doesn't have to be 12 feet off the ground. That's what titmice prefer. But for bluebirds, you can do an eye height, and so you can open it up, and when the first clutch is finished, just clean it out and then close it back up, because they really want a clean space. Now they may, if there's no other thing available, they may use the box a second time, but then they're building a second nest on the top of the first nest, and they're elevating their young ones, and so those, they become closer to be rated.
They become more vulnerable. And bluebirds, they are a very clean bird. They keep their nest boxes very clean. The parents take the waste out when they're feeding the babies, takes the waste sacks out.
Mm-hmm. And once they leave, they leave. They don't come back, because they're safer bopping around in the branches where mom and dad than they would be sitting in here as teenagers, in essence, that can fly. And you can't keep teenagers in their bedroom either. So. I haven't lost a finger yet. Beautiful.
We'll do our best to leave you with as many fingers as you came with today.
I checked at the gate, there's 10.
Are we done?
Are we done? Yes, we be done. So there is your basic bluebird box built, and again, the hole has been reinforced so a squirrel can't tear into it, especially with that brass ring. And the whole opening is 1.5 inches. You'll need a cookie cutter saw blade that fits into your drill. And from the bottom of the hole to the floor is 6 inches. So that's some of the recommended sizes. Okay?
Yep, and here we go. The side view, you see you've got your ventilation holes, you've got your nice handle, you've got your little lock here, and if you find it gets stuck, you can just keep a little pair of pliers handy. That enables you to...
Give it a good...
Here, I'll let you do that.
It's snug.
It's snug. There we go. It
well,
does
you want
open.
it to fit tightly.
Yeah, you do want it to fit tightly, because you don't want to be in there disturbing your bluebirds all the time. So these are some of the features of the nest box. We'll be right back to tell you more about bluebirds. Thank you for joining the UT Arboretum Society. Thank you, Stephen Lynn Bales.
Well, thank you.
You always teach us so much. So we'll be right back. Thank you.